For Project 10-4, make sure you switch back to your CentOS 7 virtual machine from Ubuntu. In this one, we cover log files for the new CentOS and systemd. They go over journal and journal control command. Now this is new for systemd and CentOS 7. Older versions used syslog, and CentOS still uses syslog for long-term storage. So basically, programs log to journal control, and then they transfer to the syslog. Because it's new, journal saves the information into RAM only. So if you restart your CentOS, all of the journal configuration for the prior reboot is lost because it was just stored into RAM. Now for long term, you can go look in the var log directory and find the permanently recorded information still in the old syslog format. We can make journal persistent across reboots by doing the following command. Make directory -p to make parent directories if they don't exist, /var/log/journal. And then we can restart the journal daemon. So with that restarted, we can look and make sure that journal is now creating stuff. You should have a directory under journal, so things will be kept across reboots. I said one issue with this is you need to make sure that you configure journal to, I guess, rotate out log information so that the keeping two sets of logs in journal format and syslog format will not fill up your hard disk on your system. Okay, 10.4 tells us to look at different log files, ls-l dev log. I see that that's a socket file. It's basically what it means is a IP address and port number combination is connected to a file. So syslog can receive stuff from the local, the 127.0.0.1 address and log local information, or the syslog daemon can also receive log files from remote servers and log it into the var log directory. And the same thing with journal. It's with systemd, it actually receives the logs first and then transports them to the syslog daemon to store as text files. Here we look at the configuration of journal config. Most of the stuff is commented out, so that's the defaults. If you look at the top, storage equals auto. That means that it will either store it in memory unless the var log journal directory exists. If that exists, then it will auto store it to the hard drive. So after reboot, you can use the journal command and do advanced searches and stuff for all your logs. So the benefit of journal is all of the log information from all the components in the operating system is stored in one database, so it's quick to query and look up for information. But the bad part is the default, it removes across reboots. So we just turned it on to work across reboots, and they want us to type in journal control _ COMM equals and hit tab key twice. This will list all of the components that have created a journal so far on the system. They're wanting us to look for a GDM. I don't have GDM. I have a GDM-session worker. So what I'm going to do, you may or may not have simply GDM for the graphical display manager. If you don't have GDM, you can look at cron D and hit enter. So here in mine, I see that I have cron information, shows for October 27th. And I'm going to hit Q to quit. And now I'm going to reboot my system. Once my system restarted, I'm going to go back into Control Alt F2, log in as root again, and use the same journal control _COMM equals, hit my tab key twice. Still not getting anything from GDM. Like I said, it'll be different from system to system. You would have simply just say GDM up there. Since mine's not doing that, I'm going to pick the next one of the other options in here and just do cron D again. So here we can see that we're getting information from before the reboot and after the reboot, because we made that directory and made it persistent. So you may or may not want to do that on a production system. You'll want to do some extra reading and figure out what you want on a production system. Now I'm going to hit my up arrow key and bring the same command back up, whether you're using cron D or GDM there. And I'm going to do --since. And here you may have to, instead of doing 5, you may have to look at your times that's being displayed if you have a very short log file. Mine shows 2 different days. So I'm going to do since 5 o'clock in the morning of my current day. So it's not going to show anything before the reboot. So when I hit enter, it's a quick way to look, okay, what's happened since 5 o'clock this morning, instead of looking all the way back to yesterday. I could also narrow it down. If you have a short log file and like 2 entries there, I want to know everything since, say, 9:51:44. Here it only shows me the latest entry. It doesn't show me the 9:51 and 43 seconds. The rest of the chapter goes over looking at the log files that are stored for syslog. I'm going to go ahead and change into var/log directory and just type ls. I know it wanted you to look at the cups directory. You can look in there and see your different logs for the print jobs that you've done in the previous labs. But all of these in here were created by syslog. Most of them were generated from the journal, and then it passed to the old syslog and then stored as text files to the hard disk. Most of these are long, so the tail command is very useful to look at log files. So I'm going to tail messages and just look at the last few lines of what happened for logs in the main part of the system. There's also a security log to show people it's logging in and logging out of the system. So that's the quirks out of 10-4 and some of the workarounds you may have to do just to play with the journal command. As later versions of Linux come out, the journal command will probably become more of static, and these syslog files will probably start going away. It may be 5 to 10 years before we see syslog taken out of systems and completely replaced with journal D though.